Bayt Daras was a Palestinian Arab town located 32 kilometers northeast of Gaza and approximately 50 meters above sea level, which was depopulated in 1948. History. Bayt Daras was an archaeological site that contained stone foundations and vaulted rooms. The Crusaders built a castle on the hill that overlooked the village. During the Mamluk rule in Palestine, Bayt Daras formed part of a mail route from Cairo to Damascus. In this period in 1325 a khan, or caravanserai, was built in the village. Ottoman era. In 1517, Bayt Daras was incorporated into the Ottoman Empire with the rest of Palestine, and in 1596 the village appeared in the Ottoman tax registers as being in the Nahiyah of Gaza under the Liwa of Gaza, with a population of 319. It paid taxes on a number of crops, including wheat and barley, as well as on goats, beehives and vineyards. French explorer Victor Guérin visited the village in 1863, and found it to have 700 inhabitants. In the 1882 Palestine Exploration Fund's survey of Western Palestine, the village of Bayt Daras was described as being surrounded by gardens and olive groves, and it was bordered to the north by a pond. British Mandate era. In the 1922 census of Palestine, conducted by the British Mandate authorities, Bayt Daras had a population of 1,670, all Muslims, increasing in the 1931 census of Palestine to 1,804, still all Muslim, in 401 inhabited houses. In 1945 Bayt Daras had a population of 2,750, all Arabs, with 16,357 dunams of land, according to an official land and population survey. Of this, 832 dunams were allocated to citrus and banana plants, 472 plantations and irrigable land, 14,436 used for cereals, while 88 dunams were built-up land. 1948 War and aftermath. Bayt Daras was subject to military assault 4 times, and was defended by the Sudanese army and a number of local militiamen and, according to Ramzi Baroud, subjected to heavy shelling on March 27-28, 1948, in which 9 villages died and much of the crops were destroyed. The objective of the Palmix operational plan, Operation Lightning, was to compel the Arab inhabitants of the area to move, and by striking one or more population centers to cause an exodus, which was foreseen given the wave of panic that was sweeping Arab communities after the Deir Yassin massacre. Bayt Daras was targeted to be surrounded, to have the villages surrender and hand over their arms, and if this order was resisted, it was to be mortared, stormed and dealt with in the manner of scorched earth. It was finally captured by military assault on May 11, 1948 by the Givati Brigade during Operation Barak, just prior to the outbreak of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. The village suffered some 50 casualties, and many houses were then blown up, and wells and granaries sabotaged. Bayt Daras had a population of 3,190 living in 709 houses in 1948. In Baroud's account, a massacre took place as people fled the village. According to the memoirs of Gamal Abdel Nasser, the empty village was reoccupied by Sudanese forces in June, but they left after a signaling error caused them to be shelled by their own side. Structures in the village were made of stone foundations with vaulted rooms. There were also 2 elementary schools and 2 mosques, all of which were demolished after its capture. The Jewish Moshav of Givati was built in 1950 on the land Bayt Daras once occupied. Also in 1950 the Israeli settlements of Azrikam and communim were established on village land. Later in the 1950s, a farm called Zamorat was built on Bayt Daras, which was also on village land. Culture. A woman's THOB dated to about 1930 from the village of Bayt Daras as part of the Museum of International Folk Art collection at Santa Fe. The dress fabric is called Abu Hizama from Majdal. The only embroidery on the front is below the neck opening. The back panel has 3 horizontal bands of embroidery, and a local version of the Kamel Basha motif along the hem. Bibliography.